Hey all, this is Yuma. Today I'm going to be trying to give a comprehensive guide to speedrunning the Funny Raccoon game. Um, just going to be trying to explain some tips, some tricks, some stuff that I went through when I was, learning how to speedrun myself, and some stuff that's helping me currently. Please note that there is new techniques and there's new exploits and stuff coming out pretty much all the time for this game. So routes are constantly changing. If you want to be first to knowing what the routes are going to be, I recommend you guys join the Discord for speedrunning this game. I'll have it linked in the description, so that way you all can go in and join. Also, apologies in the voice, I am sick. Oh, something past Yuma forgot to explain is that before you start a run, you should delete your save file. Make sure it's on the recording, just to make sure that, we're not cheating or starting a save file that's been used before. It's just, pleasantries. So, when we're starting a run, you join in. Time doesn't start until you hit the accept button. So you can press start, you can change all these settings as much as you want. Your time does not start ever until you hit accept. Um, the game is meant to be played in 4:3. I usually run it full screen, so that way I think it expands the screen a little more so you can see more. It's just a matter of preference. I always run on sensitive ears because this is too loud, this is way too loud. But yeah, as soon as you hit accept, you're going to press Q, which is to open up your list, usually in the game. But what it does is it puts down this screen instantly, so that way you have no time lag. A good thing about the movement in this game, you really don't ever want to double jump. Try to avoid it as much as possible. So you have your normal jump, it'll get you there. But if you double jump, you see how it kind of ruins my movement. Jumping in this game is a little iffy on how it really works, so you want to try to land your jumps as often as you can, so that way you're running for the maximum amount of time. The most optimal route is the most obvious route to go through here. When you're going through, grab the toaster and throw it at the glass. It's a lot faster than grabbing the brick and throwing it at the glass. Usually, when you're doing a run, the cycle that you're running, as soon as you run through, you don't really have to ever worry about the car. Then you're going to grab the remote, immediately press F, jump through while the explosion's happening, and then throw everything in. Usually, if you can time everything correctly, you can get into the dumpster before 15 seconds. Then you're going to go through here, spam through the scene with Norwich. And now, here is our first big tech of the run. So, what I do is I listen for the music. It's very weird to explain, so it's pretty much different for everybody. But I listen for bit bit bit. So the music does a bit bit bit. I go on the third bit, and then the train's able to hit me. Very finicky, very hard to get down, but once you get it down, it's pretty hard to not ever have it again. If you're simply getting the run for the first time, I would recommend maybe not the train right off. I would maybe recommend doing the energy drink. You're saving a lot of time doing the train, but the drink is a little more consistent. It's a little friendlier on newer players. You don't have to time. The best way to do it is just to have the train coming and getting through. Now, when you're going through this loading zone, you're going to press right click pretty much when you're in the loading zone, and you'll grab the dollar that's behind. And that saves time, you don't have to go around. Here in the chicken farm, pressing E and then immediately throwing the moai head pretty much lets you skip his dialogue. And then you're going to spam as fast as you can all the chickens. and you're going to want 3 chickens when you go up. 3 chickens is your best number here. Any lower than 3 chickens, you cannot do the following sequence of events. You're also going to want probably not any more than 5 chickens. 6 chickens is usually too much. It makes you fall way slower than usual. 3 is perfect. 3 is the absolute golden number. 4 is fine. 5 is a little on the higher side. And then you're going to immediately go through here. This is the smog room. Smog room is a complete bitrate nightmare. So I apologize if you can't see anything. The best way to do this room is to immediately start running, and the tube that you're running on pretty much is going to bump you naturally, and as soon as it bumps you naturally, you're going to fall with it and try to make it onto the tube in front of you. So I'll demonstrate like this, and then you're going to go double jump straight into this loading zone. As soon as you load into here, you're going to reset, and it'll put you right at this loading zone. You're automatically facing this way, so you can just press back, and you're into this. Once you're in Beanie HQ, you're going to jump for that ledge right there. With 3 chickens, there's 2 ways you can do it. The easier way and the more friendly way for people just starting out is to jump to this and then jumping over to the bridge. The way that I do it, just because I've been doing it for a while, is jumping straight to the bridge and throwing right before I hit the ledge, and that lets me pretty much get in. And then you're going to go through this loading zone to the Beanie Factory. When you're in the Beanie Factory, you're going to run over and grab the beanies before they go through the saws. You want 3 beanies here, or 3 goos here. This is an RG dependent part of the run, on if your goos are going to cooperate with you getting into a nice spot. If not, you might have to go for the conveyor belt goos, which is a little hard. And if all that doesn't work, you might have to reset your run. But you're going to take the goos, fly up here with them, throw, get on the conveyor belt. Conveyor belt is much faster than going on top of the crushers, just because you're able to move with the conveyor belt. So, up, throw, conveyor belt, in. Now, once you're in the process, you're going to want to grab 3 goos. You can do it with 2 goos, it's a little slower, but 3 goos is your number. And then jumping up, throwing, going straight into this hole right here. A lot of the times, you might have bad RNG with your goos down there, or your throw might be bad. So just aiming for this hole, no matter what you do, is the goal. Then you're going to jump down here and through to the office. Now in the office is another tech. This is one that I discovered. Apologies for the encoder messing up over here, by the way. The office is a big lag area for a lot of people in the run. But what we're going to do is we're going to jump on this desk right here, and we're going to double jump. Now pretty much as soon as we hit our second jump, we're going to grab this divider right here. So pretty much you're going to get up, and then as soon as you hit your second jump, you're going to grab, and you should be out of bounds. Now something else could happen. You could grab the divider too late, and you'll be stuck in the ceiling like this, kind of falling down. The good thing about this clip is that if that happens, you can just throw and try again until you get it. You have 3 tries pretty much. If you don't get it in these 3 tries, you should probably reset your run. Once you're up here, you're going to be running over here, jumping right off the top, so that way we skip past this barrier, and then we could just walk forward into the loading zone. As soon as you get into the Bimbo City, we're going to reset, and this is probably the technically hardest part of the run. This is the truck launch. There's a lot of different ways to do a truck launch. Blimbo City has a special way of doing it over everything else. Really quickly explain a truck launch. So the truck in this game is very bugged. So if you stand on a certain part of it when you call it, especially in the direction that it's being called from, you can prop fly with it. This is infinite. You can do that as much as you want, but there is a certain aspect of it. If it's rotating pretty much while you're on it, and you prop fly while it's going into the direction that you usually take it to, you kind of launch. But with Blimbo City, it is a different orientation. So when we spawn in, we're going to line ourselves up with the edge of this loading zone here. Try to get your raccoon directly centered, and then call. And you can see when we call, it gets on this ledge and it kind of freaks out. That's part of the truck launch. What we're going to want to do is call it, so that way it's jittering like crazy. When it's jittering like crazy, we're going to get into it, out of it, and then as soon as we're out of it, we're going to call the truck twice. When we call the truck twice, it's going to launch us almost directly to the reactor. The timing on this is pretty slim. I'd say it's a very low margin of error that you have. You know, just doing this over and over again, getting it under your fingers is probably the biggest thing that you can do here. Call it in, sometimes it falls slower, out, call, call. And you see it launches us straight over to the reactor. I'm going to reset just to show some things that might happen. Standing here, there is a chance that you could have the truck do this, where it's very slowly falling into place. You're kind of going to want to avoid that, just because that's already a sign that it's not in the right place. It should immediately start jittering. So we're going to get in. A lot of the time that's going to happen. Sometimes you get launched into the reactor like this. You're not really going to want this. The only way to save this is to get out very quickly, grab, and come back in. That's a very advanced thing to do, though, and it's not the most reliable thing to do. Sometimes if you truck launch and you do it too fast, you'll go off in this direction. Going off in that direction is not the worst thing in the world. That is the route that we used to go with the truck launch. We used to land on here and then go over to that fan, and then once we're at the fan, we launched up to the reactor there. Saves a lot of time doing the double launch, but it's definitely understandable if it doesn't work for you. It is a very hard thing to do. Sometimes if you are too late, it'll launch you this way, and this is a dead launch. You really can't do anything with that. The best thing to do is to reset. Best thing is a truck launch in the direction of the reactor. And the timing on it, I'll show it again. And you're going to want to get on this ledge. This ledge is the spot that I'm always aiming for. Once I'm on this ledge, I'll summon my truck and grab it. So that way when I go through the reactor, I have my truck with me. Having your truck with you during this part is pretty much the most crucial thing. So no matter what, as long as you come through the reactor with your truck, then you should be good to go. Once we're in the reactor, we're going to immediately start the sequence. Call our truck, get in. Once you're in your truck, you'll be in your truck through the entire cutscene and after the cutscene. So you'll be able to skip some stuff when you're in the wastes. What I like to do is drive my truck backwards. You can drive your truck in any direction, but I like it because during this black screen, you can hear my truck. And once I hear the audio loop I immediately clutch, turn, and then go up. Now, a big thing with this glitch, as you can see, there's two of me. There's a me in a truck, and there's the me that just got out of the cutscene. Um, Usually, how you avoid this is you are out of the truck when it happens. Um, but when you're in the truck and that cutscene ends, you can see things are a little weird with you in the truck. I usually just spam E until that is fixed. Um, what we're gonna do after the cutscene, or as soon as we load in, drive up here, get our truck down, and we are gonna perform another truck launch. This one's a little different, and this is the one that we're gonna be doing in the gully as well. So I realized I didn't really explain this well at all on how to do a truck launch. So I'm going to link in the description a video by another speedrunner, Naitza. I hope I'm pronouncing their name right. But they do a very good job of explaining the skip in general. They do it in the goalie, but we're going to be doing it in the goalie later anyways. This applies to this part of the game as well. So we're going to do the truck launch. Oh, there we go. It's pretty much going to launch you directly to the goalie loading zone. So when I spawn in, I pretty much immediately summon the truck and spin it by holding a direction key and then getting out of it. Now there's two ways that the truck can launch you from here. It can launch you way over here to the west. If it does, I would reset the level as fast as you can. Only because trying to strafe right in this game is a lot harder than trying to strafe left. And if the truck launches you this way, then you are able to strafe left as soon as you launch, and it will take you to the center. So while it's spinning like this, with the truck, when the truck is in this direction, you're gonna spam the call button. And it should launch you either directly to or a little bit that way, and you can strafe straight to the middle. When we're in the middle, there is something that we can do. You can do this with any cutscene in the game that has dialogue. By the way, when you spawn in, immediately close the truck. You're gonna grab this over here, and when you talk to the guy, you should talk to the truck at the exact same time. And it'll skip his dialogue entirely. Another thing I realized I didn't really explain here, the truck, getting into the truck skips any cutscene to directly to when it ends, and the result of the cutscene. So this will work for any cutscene in the game that gives you something, with dialogue, of course. So this can be used in many other parts of the game. Just for this run specifically, this is the things that it will skip. And then you throw the orb in as soon as you grab it. There is another thing that you can do. When you talk to this guy and hit yes, you can immediately grab sometimes the orb and throw it in. Both are about the same time to pull off. The truck doing the dialogue skip is the easiest option for me. And it also prepares you for what's going to happen later. Once you throw in the orb, we're going to grab the truck and go in to the ending with it. Now, throw the truck up, so that way you can call it whenever you need. Start the dialogue, get in the truck, get out of the truck, land back here as fast as you can. And you skip the entire ending scene. And that's the end of the game. Now, there's a few things that you really need to be playing the game often to feel. A lot of movement tech, a lot of the launching tech that I was showing off, just getting used to it in game. But that's everything that we know so far. again, to know the new, exploits as they come out, join the Discord. I'll have it linked in the description. Yeah, thank you. Happy running. Oh. Come on. Glad I saw that. That sucked.
You done it.
I do it every time. $3:14. Damn, we're so close. 4 seconds.